All right, we're recording. First things first.
All right.
Welcome to the Pseven Podcast, Jake.
Thank you.
We're your hosts, Jake and Josh, and we're going to talk all things golf related. Few things happening at the moment, but obviously we can't be in the same room because of the lockdown here in Melbourne. So interesting times.
Yep. Very.
First, we'll introduce ourselves. Pretty much what we do in the golf industry, what we've done, our own personal golf journeys as well. So I'll start us off. I am a very questionable scratch handicapper. Very questionable.
On his day.
Yeah, on my day. I've been working in the golf industry for about 4 years now. Originally started at the Yering Meadows Golf Club, just in a sales assistant role there, and then progressed to store manager and marketing manager for a company called AW Golf Services up at Beacon Hills Golf Club, which is where I'm at now, but actually just in the process of changing again to something a little bit better, which will be announced in the coming weeks, but looking forward to the future. Over to you, Maxie.
Sounds good. Well, I've been in the golf industry for 5 years now, working in the pro shop at Yering Meadows, doing a bit of everything really, from the driving range, sales, timesheet, social media, a bit of everything. What else? Worked with Josh for a long time there.
Yeah,
over the days.
I was his boss. I didn't tell you otherwise.
Oh, he wishes. What else?
Your own golf journey. So
been playing too long. What am I now? 5. Been floating up and down around that for a while. Trying to juggle study and pro shop. Not really getting anywhere with the golf, but hopefully getting somewhere now.
One of the most pure swings you'll ever see.
As long as it looks good off the first tee,
yeah, exactly,
then it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where it goes.
The rest of it doesn't matter. No one looks at the scores. Yes.
Awesome. Well, let's get stuck into this week's recap. Obviously, the PGA Tour went to Sedgefield Country Club this week for the Wyndham Championship. So a few things interesting happened. Jim Herman came back. I think he was 4 behind at the start of play of round 4 to win by 1. He shot.
Wow.
So past 70 course, he shot 61-63, so 9 under and 7 under over the weekend to win by 1.
Crazy.
It was ridiculous. The wedges, I'll watch some highlights again before, and the wedges that he was hitting in the greens were just ridiculous. They were so on point. The distance control was incredible to watch. And for a guy who doesn't smoke it, he just gets it round, but to have that much control and to be that good with the flat stick, which he was, like in the last round, he held a 59-footer for eagle on the 5th. Yeah, just incredible golf.
Pretty incredible.
But yeah, just crazy. So that leads into the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs this week, Maxi.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
So looking forward to that. Top 125, teeing it up. So what are your thoughts on that?
If I'm being honest, I haven't seen the leaderboard. You've got to look at who's been consistent, who's been there the whole time. Have you got I'll grab the standings here.
Yeah, so JT's on top. And Morikawa in second, obviously coming off a massive PGA where he just sort of was above and beyond. That
Yep.
drive he hit on 16.
It was incredible.
That
16.
low bullet fade.
Incredible.
And then to have the nerve to drain the putt as well was, at 23 years old, you've got to have some serious cojones
It's pretty incredible
to be able to do that, especially with the field that was chasing him. And around that course, like, I don't know if you saw it.
It was a tight leaderboard.
Yeah.
Very tight leaderboard.
Come
Sunday.
There was a video Ian Poulter put up on his Instagram earlier in the week before the tournament, and it was of the rough. And it was about 3 4 foot. Yeah, 3 foot, 4 foot off the fairway. And the rough was deep. I think he tried to hit a 5-iron out of it and topped one in front of him.
No chance.
Not a chance in hell. So
you think?
Yeah, for Morikawa to stand up like that and be able to do what he did, I just thought was pretty incredible, and sort of puts him at the forefront of things moving forward. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, that puts him 556 points behind Justin Thomas.
Yeah.
And just in front of Webb Simpson. So you'd think for someone to break up that 3, something pretty special would have to happen.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, but you look at the players that are chasing him. I mean, you got Bryson in 4th.
There's still good players.
Yeah, Patrick Reed in 6th, as much as we hate him. Rory McIlroy as well in 8th, chasing, I mean, there's JT and Rory who are chasing that elusive title of winning the FedEx Cup twice. So I dare say they'll be pretty motivated to get away.
I don't think anyone else who's won one's really a chance this year.
No, like you look at
other than those two. So
yeah, there's a few out there, but yeah, it should be interesting. Have you got a pick for this week?
Remind me what the course is.
So Northern Trust TPC Boston.
Boston.
I think Bryson has won there previously.
From memory, it's not particularly tight.
Yeah. I think Jason Days. I don't know if he won or he won the Northern Trust 1 year. But not TPC. But
so we're looking 7,200 yards. Wouldn't call it short, but it could be Bryson's week.
Yeah, you think
that'll definitely put him up the leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean the way he sort of stuck to his game plan, even around TPC Harding Park, was pretty good to watch. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of his and his antics, but the way he is full prong attack with this new theory is pretty incredible to see.
I'd have to say around TPC Harding, I did not think he would do as well as he did.
Yeah.
Because for me, that course is fairway green. You miss fairway green, and like you said earlier, you miss the fairway by, what did you say, 6 foot if that, and you're almost guaranteed to not hit the green.
Yeah.
If you're more than 200 yards, 180 yards out.
Guaranteed bogey, essentially, if not more.
Just about, especially on holes like 9.
Yeah.
How long's 9? 520 yards?
Yeah, 513 or something ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy. You can't be in the rough on a hole like that.
No, not at all. So it'll be interesting to see, but you reckon Bryson's a massive chance?
Like I said, it's not particularly tight. It'll really depend on the rough too, because if he's finding it, these courses have all got the same sort of deal, not to the extent of Harding Park, but I think he's a good chance. Webb Simpson, solid, does very undercredited.
Yeah.
Collins still, don't know. JT wasn't too convincing, I don't think.
He wasn't, although I
The
think
other last
we saw it
2
last
weeks,
year.
but
Yeah, last year where he just sort of flicked the switch and turned it on come FedEx Cup
so
playoff time.
if he can do that, I mean, he doesn't need to do anything crazy as long as nobody else does. But yeah, as long as he keeps going the way he'll be on track for a pretty good result at least,
Yeah, for
if
sure.
not first.
Yeah, I think sort of, yeah, you look at those names and, I mean, Rory probably stands out for me as well. I think he likes this time of year and he is due. So I think he'll come out strong. And then I think Tony Finau, he's knocking on the door. Like you saw at Harding Park, he wasn't far away.
He's nearly there.
He just needs to sort of get over that hump of winning a major tournament. And I think it'll be the start of something pretty large. Because I saw some interviews this week and on the Bomb and Gouge theory, and they still reckon Finau's got yardage left in the tank.
Oh, plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Look at his swing. Yeah, incredible, isn't it?
He's still got a big shoulder turn, but the club's nowhere near where the other guys are getting it to. So I've heard that he did that because he was struggling for accuracy off the tee, and he did that coming into his professional career. But yeah, I mean, you saw that 200 ball speed. Like,
yeah, incredible.
It's pretty crazy.
For that to be reached, that's insane. Moving on to the European tour, had the Celtic Classic at Celtic Manor this week, and Sammy Horsfield won again. So two tournaments in 2 weeks, essentially, for Sam. Another young guy really coming through, and he's a flusher. He's an absolute flusher. Like he bombs it. His wedges are incredible. Definitely one to watch for the future. But yeah, he came out and shot, I think, 4 under in the final round to claim it by 2.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something to be said about hitting it a long way now, isn't there?
Definitely. And I think it's only going to be the way forward too. Like you see, especially after Harding Park and the PGA Chance with Bryson still having the success he did, hitting as far as he did. You can't just bring the rough in anymore because these players overcompensate for it, and he proved that's not the way forward. They've got to find another solution to it. But it creates entertainment, and it's what we all want.
It's better for the game.
Definitely.
I'd rather see them. I think most people would rather see them hitting it a long way than struggling around a golf course.
Yeah, for sure, without doubt. Now I know we've talked about it already, but the release of some new irons this week.
Some new goodies.
The Taylormade irons. So they released P770, P7MC, P7MB, and the Sim UDI DHY. Initial thoughts?
Really good. I think that the Taylormade line, good clubs individually. As far as blending them goes, I think they lacked a lot. You look at other manufacturers, it's a bit hard to most people, they've got a really nice blend now. There's a lot of guys that are using those more forgiving long irons. There's not many that are using a bladed long iron anymore. So it's good that they're sort of more progressive. I guess the old P770 was that in a sense, with the speed foam in the top half of the bag. But there wasn't too much else on offer unless you wanted to go down to the P730s. And they weren't available in Australia for, as I can't even remember when we had them last time. They have been unavailable for a while now. So, so it's nice to see that, if you can go the P770s and have that speed foam through the whole thing with still a nice compact look, or you can go to the MC, which is probably going to be a little more unforgiving than people think, from what I've seen and read. But I'm thinking something like a Titleist CB. So just another nice little option. obviously preference blade players and cavity back players.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me as a blade player myself, those MBs look incredible. I think
Absolutely.
we've spoken about it previously, but I'm not sure on the need for a blade with the Taylormade range. Obviously, you got the P7 TWs out already, and obviously Tiger's always going to influence that market. Like if you can, all their predominant blade sales are going to be those Tiger blades, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see them. I'd like to be able to put a Tiger blade next to a P7 MB, and then next to something like a Mizuno that's got a lot longer blade length than
the length head.
a lot of others. So, I mean, I love the MP20s. I think they're a great iron. Being a blade, they, like I said, they do look a little bigger, but they're still a really good looking head. So, I think they'll be a lot like the MP20. And then your Tiger blade will be sort of closer to the Titleist MB, if not a bit further.
As you said, it'd be good to see a comparison vid of the two together, just to see the similarities and differences. And
it'll be very small. There'll be nothing major. That you can't change blades. They are what they are. And
I mean, obviously, there's not a lot of offset. The offset's been reduced in the TWs because that's how Tiger likes them, with very minimal. So I reckon there'll be a little bit more in the MBs. But I can't.
A little bit more, a tiny bit more loft. A little bit less loft. That'll help that blend as well into the other sets. We know Tigers are, I'm going to say 36 in the 7-iron.
Yeah, I think they're very
I think if you get his specs, I think they might even be a 37. Otherwise, it's a degree less than that.
Yeah.
Which it's hard to find anything that comes close to that. If most sets have got an 8-iron in that now. So
well, I think most players, to be honest, unless you're a really, really good ball striker, you're going to be in the MCs at least. And to be honest, they're my favourite looking ones of the set. I just think they're super, super incredible. I don't know if you saw it, but Rich Shields did a video today on YouTube about the MCs, and I think he's putting them in the bag. But to see them up close and personal, incredible design work from the crew at Taylormade. So, and
a lot like the old Tour Preferreds.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
they do look like the Tour Preferreds.
And praise the Lord, we have some Taylormade irons in left-handed now. Come on. It's about time. So the boys at Taylormade done us all lefties proud. It's about time. So I think the full range has come in left-handed, which is good.
Everything available.
Yeah, it looks like it. So the blades, the MCs, which is really good. And gives fitters another opportunity to fit left-handers, because obviously a lot of the time you go in for a fitting as a left-hander and you've only got a couple of options. Titleist usually a massive one, Callaway pretty good, but to chuck Taylormade and a full range of Taylormade irons into the equation now it's got to be a good thing. So I think that's a massive
it's a tricky one
moving forward. Yeah, it is, because you got to look at it from their perspective as well. Like, will supply will demand equal that supply?
Especially in such a in that kind of product, it's not going to suit everybody.
Correct.
Driver's obviously a no-brainer. But being 4 different sets in the P7 range, that 4 different sets of irons, there's not a lot of people, but it's still good to see.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think it's going to be the way moving forward. I mean, you look at it with the release of the Mizuno irons as well in left-handed, the SELs, and now Taylormade jumping on board. It's it's pretty good to see as a lefty. So
that's it.
Moving on, US Amateur this week. Have you seen it? Seen many highlights from it?
I saw the fog on the final day.
Crazy.
So
I'll go
it's hard to see why they were playing.
That fog on the back 9 of
So it rolled in
the
after. Okay.
yeah, the back. It was about the back nine just before they made the turn to the back nine on the afternoon 18. And it was dense. Like you could hear the footage. If you go on YouTube and watch the highlights and stuff, it's pretty incredible to see because the guys, Tyler Shafarchi and Osborne, are hitting tee shots and going, "Oh, I hit that well, but I didn't see it at all." And then the camera crew can't even pick it up. So for a camera crew not be able to pick up the ball flight at a US amateur, I mean, it's got to be pretty dense. So you do question it, why they didn't sort of go off and come back.
I don't know, come back to it. I mean, being the end of the day, it's not going to go away. So come back to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Incredible golf though. For these young guys to come out on banded dunes, which is no easy trek by all means. Like it is tough conditions out there. But yeah, I'll go through a bit of it. So to start the day, Osborne made 6 birdies through the first 11 holes, and he got to 5 up. All right.
Wow, 5 up.
Strafarchi got it back to square by the 20th hole.
Wow.
So he's 5 down through 11, got it back to square through 20. Went 2 up through 33 holes. Yeah. And then I think Strafarchi went over the green on 34. And Osborne hit the green on both 34 and 35, got it back to square through 35 holes. So all square going down the last through 36 event.
That's good.
And then Strafarchi comes out and birdies 36 to win 1 up. Osborne had a putt to halve it, and it just slid right. But yeah, some seriously incredible golf by the two guys. And yeah, you see it with Morikawa now making that jump to the PGA Tour, that these guys are going to have no problem sort of with that transition. And it's, seeing the way they hit the ball and their control around a tricky track such as Bandon Dunes was, pretty incredible to watch and some incredible viewing. So if you get the chance, go and watch those highlights because, these guys are the future of the game and they're bloody good players. I think Strafarchi had a look. I think he was about 4 or 5 under off the stones at Bandon Dunes in the final round of a US amateur. So to be able to do that is, to keep your head through that fog as well. It's pretty incredible temperament to show as a young guy coming through. And I think it holds him in good stead for the future, that's for sure.
Yep, that's it.
So there's one other thing I did want to talk about in our first pod this week is your golf personally. What are you working on? Obviously in lockdown at the moment here in Melbourne, we can't actually play. We can't get to the range. Most guys have a net set up or something in the backyard at home and just working on a few things. I know myself, I'm working on a couple of things, and you're always grinding to try and find a way to improve, especially with so much time off.
That's it.
But what are you working on, and what are you sort of moving forwards towards?
Just been doing a lot of putting, to be honest.
Yeah.
Really trying to change my tempo. I've always been someone with a really long stroke. Trying to shorten it out now, just not quite consistent enough, especially from long range. Trying to shorten it out a little bit quicker through the ball, but tend to decelerate on it, being a bit quick. So just trying to get
before, but that transition with you is sort of key, isn't it? I think when you're
changing the tempo changes everything.
Yeah, correct.
It breaks everything, and you got to reshape it. So, the tempos, we change it, clean up the transition. Tempo starts to break down a little bit, back to the tempo, fix the transition again, and it's patchwork. But eventually we'll iron it out. and it'll be good.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Maybe you'll beat me one day. Hopefully when we can get back.
All right. Yeah.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed it's not
Give
too
us
long.
3 months of practice at home, maybe.
Oh, mate. Yeah, no, it won't be 3 months of practice for this bloke. Nah, but I myself, I am working on a couple of things. So I struggle a little bit with the length of my swing. It can get too long at times, especially under pressure. So trying to work on a few things with that, and then trying to work on just iron play with trying to implement the bender lead wrist. So if you haven't seen that, go and have a look at Mike Bender. Really good coach out of the US, and yeah, some incredible footage on his Instagram of all the great players and how they transition through the iron swing, and yeah, so working on a few things like that, and hopefully able to get back to it sooner rather than later.
Should pick up your ball striking like
tomorrow. It's always been sort of pretty tough. So with that long swing of mine, it's sort of I've always struggled to strike my irons really pure, and always struggled with a toe strike. So trying to take that out of play and eliminate the big miss with an iron is is sort of the sole focus at the moment for me.
Yep, no, that'll be good.
Yeah. What's on for the week, Jake? You're still working a little bit, doing
a working on the ground screw at Earing now.
Yeah, just in lockdown.
Something a bit different.
Changes it up a little bit. I mean, at least it gives you a good look at the course as well.
Can see it, and that's about it. See it, walk it, fix it.
Yeah.
It's quiet. But it's good. Getting a few things done that it's obviously difficult to do patchwork and taking trees down, that kind of thing. Difficult to do that when the timesheet's full as it has been, especially with the groups of twos being, pretty big problem really for everyone.
Oh, mate,
as much as we need to do it.
Yeah, like before we went into stage 4 and we still were open, Friday, Saturday, Sundays up at Beacon Hills, it was 400, sort of between 400 and 600 players over 3 days. So, if not more.
Yep.
Just, incredible.
We were seeing, I think, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, and Friday, we were seeing about 1,000. So
crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
Unheard of, really.
Yeah, being one of the only things that was still open throughout stage 3, that you could go out of your home and do. Sort of good for the game of golf, is how I see it. It's a positive because it's getting these people that haven't played for a few years back into the game to just get out of the house.
It's a good opportunity to take it back up as well. A lot of people have joined up, more coming out for a hit just for,
Well, hopefully it's the driving force behind an increase in the participation in numbers in Australia and especially in Victoria.
Much needed.
And I know Golf Victoria released a news article about how the membership rates were increased in the year 2020. So that's got to be a good thing.
Yep.
So hopefully they can sort of maintain that leading forward and really grow the game.
That's it.
Perfect, mate.
Yeah, hopefully people see it as an opportunity to just get back into it or try something new. You never know how long this is going to go on for. So
yeah, exactly right. So you just got to play it by ear, don't you?
Yep, that's the way.
All right. Well, that about wraps us up for podcast number 1. I think we're going to try and do these weekly, especially while in lockdown. Gives us something to do.
Yeah.
So next week, I know there is the big Mizuno sort of release with their irons.
Yep.
The embargo comes off, so we'll have a chat about them and looking forward to. There's a review coming out by the boys at TXG. they're always pretty good value. If you haven't seen their Taylormade Irons review, go and have a look because it's pretty awesome. And then there is a new release from Callaway in terms of the game improvement market. So look out for that as well.
Haven't seen this one.
So, yeah, we'll be having a look at them, but I'm not going to reveal what exactly it is. But yeah, it looks good in terms of the game improvement and those guys that are just coming back to the game, for sure. All right, let's wrap up. Week 1 of P7 Pod done. Look forward to next week's episode.